You guys have to learn how to use short form content to market yourself and market your business. It's free. Put out 3 reels a day. Tell your stories. Get in there and create compelling short form content. Watch what the community engages with. When people start engaging, your winners, that tells you to do 3 things. Make more short form content on that topic. Turn those winners into ads, and that's where you spend your limiting marketing budget on those ads that are already proven to be winners, and turn that short form content topic into long form content and push people to your long form content because consumers are buyers.
Hello and welcome to the Remarkable CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to chiropractors who want to transform their job into a business so that they can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. With your hosts, Dr. Pete Camiolo and Dr. Stephen Franson.
At Genesis, we help successful chiropractors implement spinal decompression with a fully turnkey system that handles everything from marketing and new patient generation to systems, protocols, and ongoing support. The result? Massive value for your practice and life-changing outcomes for your patients, all without drugs or surgery. This is the next evolution in chiropractic care. Welcome to Genesis.
What's up, Remarkables? Welcome to another episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast, chiropractic's #1 business podcast. I'm Dr. Stephen Franson.
And I'm Dr. Pete Camiolo.
Dr. Pete, it's great to be together here having a mission-driven conversation. So we're going to talk about new patients. We're going to talk about marketing. We're talking about lead generation. We're just coming up on our remarkable attraction immersions. You know, of course, we're here in the United States. Let's get some dates here because it's sneaking up on us. October 10th and 11th, we're going to be in Phoenix. I know a couple weeks after that, we're going to be in Adelaide, Australia. A couple weeks after that, we're going to be in New Zealand, right? So on the world tour, teaching people how to help more people, man. I'm excited about this because this is as mission-driven as it gets. It's all about expanding our impact and our income, right? So our impact, we're on-purpose chiropractors. We're mission-driven on-purpose chiropractors. And we know that money follows value, right? And the value that we deliver into our communities, into our marketplace, our unique success proposition for humanity is unmatched, right? So giving families not only better health outcomes, but a better health experience. Man, sign me up. Put me in, coach. Give me the ball, right? So, I mean, if I am breathing, I am promoting. I am promoting chiropractic, right? So I know what the world needs now is chiropractic. And what chiropractic needs right now is more successful chiropractors, right? So I know successful chiropractors inspire more people to become chiropractors. So what the world needs now is more successful chiropractors. And Dr. Pete, been coaching thousands of chiropractors over the last almost 20 years now. And one thing I know to be true, regardless of where you are in your practice journey, launch, build, scale, exit, whether you're struggling or crushing it, right? Everybody wants to see more new patients. Everybody wants to be making a bigger impact. Everybody wants to make a bigger income. And the #1 gap between where you are today and where you want to be in the vision of success for you, your ultimate vision, the #1 gap is the number of new patients you're seeing consistently every month now compared to where you want to be. It's the number of new patients per month that you're seeing in the practice. It's lead generation. It's marketing. Dr. Pete, let's get after it.
You know, I love this that we're going here, you know, and I love that we have our attraction immersion coming up. I love that we focus on attraction as part of our coaching. It's part of it's one of the 5 domains, right? So it's the first domain and there's an order. It's attraction, conversion, retention. You can't convert to people you don't attract, right? You can't ultimately retain the people you don't convert, you know, this idea of the flow. And, you know, ultimately our goal is that we know that chiropractic is a lifestyle success strategy for healthy human beings. And we know that we want to have as many people in a regular chiropractic care as possible, mainly because that's what's best for humanity. That's what's best for the human race. And so because we know that that's true, then we have to be better at retention. And because we know if we want to be better at retention, we got to get better at conversion. We want to get better at conversion. We got to have more new ones. We got to have more new people. And the reality is there's more people on earth now than there were 10 years ago. There's more people that need chiropractic care now than there were 1 year ago. And so we've got to continue to look at how do we help more people? How do we position ourselves to reach more people? And so we've got to get better at this, what I would call function. And we've organized it into 3 primary functions inside of your organization. And I know we're not just going to have a straight up marketing conversation today. in sense of like, we're not teaching you how to do internal, external, digital marketing, but we organize all of your marketing in terms of the 3 primary functions inside of it. So Dr. Stephen, whenever I teach the domain of attraction, you got to recognize first and foremost that what you're doing is you're trying to find a seeker, right? And you're trying to meet them where they're at. That's what you're doing. Marketing is actually speaking into somebody's listening, right? And as a marketing mindset, their mindset really needs to be that I'm a messenger, and I'm a messenger in the marketplace, and I'm here to bring a message into the marketplace that the marketplace needs to hear. And so what marketing does is it's a vehicle for messaging. And we do that in a variety of ways. We do it inside of our offices, we do it outside in our community, and we do it now digitally. And these are all tremendous sources for us to reach the people with our message. And the great news, Dr. Stephen, that I love about being a chiropractor is I always tell people, I got some good news. I get to be the bearer of good news. You listen to the news, it's bad news. Oh, fire down on whatever street, and this guy got shot in the knee. And it's like chiropractic. I'm like, hey man, I don't know about all that, but what I do know is I got some good news. You want to hear it? I got good news, man. Guess what? God designed your body to heal, right? That your body heals itself. You were fearfully and wonderfully made, that there's no power and weapon that's formed against you that's in the world around you that's going to be more powerful than the power that's at work inside of you that can heal you. It's just not optimized right now. There's an interference in that whole thing, So if we can identify where that blockage is and we can remove that, your body will restore into this place of healing. You're just expressing symptoms right now. That's not the problem. The problem is the cause. And once we identify where that is and we can correct that, you're going to be well on your way, man. You're going to be living your best life. I got some good news for the marketplace. And so when you go into marketing, I remember Dr. Stephen back in the day screening a lot, and I could show up to a screening mad, or I can show up to the screening like with love. And I know I could convert people both ways, but I'll tell you, it's way better to do it from a place of love. It's way better to do it from a place of love. I've been pissed at a talk. I've been pissed at screenings. I've been pissed at doing videos. I've been angry. I've been upset. I'll tell you, it's not optimal. We do need to look at this ourselves in the mirror and say, you know what? We need to come at this from a place of love. And I just want to call us all out on this. You're about to unpack some stuff for us too. So I just want to challenge us in our marketing. When we put our marketing hat on, like, I just want us to come at this from a place of love and come at it from a place of, man, you got some good news to share with people. Be a bearer of good news. Be somebody that brings light into dark situations. Be like, let me shed some light in here. I'll tell you what, when you lose your keys, someone brings a light, it's much easier to find them. When people are trying to find their way out of a situation, when the light shines, it's really easy to see the doorway out. We bring people into a place where we bring light, we bring people the good news. And I want us to show up to this conversation and any marketing conversation, Dr. Stephen was saying, hey, we're a messenger, we bring good news, we shine the light, and we set people free. That's what you guys do. So we've got to get better at it.
Hey, man, when we talk about making a bigger impact, just telling people the truth is making an impact, right? Just equipping people with the truth and the strategies to start doing and stop doing is making an impact that changes the inflection of the health of families, right? So just guys, you got to lead with the truth, right? So now there's a skill set, and as an art form in copywriting and messaging and communication, I hate the expression, you got to be able to sell pain pills, not vitamins. I love to hate that expression, because at the end of the day, to get people's attention, you need to be able to speak into their listening. And in healthcare, what are they listening for? Help me solve my problems. You got to be able to communicate in such a way where you can speak into their listening, talk about their pain, talk about their symptoms, talk about their conditions, talk about their body signals, and build the skill set of being able to communicate in such a way that you can teach them cause and effect. Make sure that they understand cause versus effect, cause versus symptom, problem versus symptom, subluxation versus symptom and condition, right? So being able to share that good news in a way that you don't sound irrelevant or you're speaking above them. You got to speak into their listening and share our unique success proposition for humanity, right? The inside out, above down, inside out truth of chiropractic. That's the cornerstone, right? It's the one thing that sets us apart in this crowded and confused marketplace. You've got to build the skill set of communicating the truth to people in such a way that you can speak into their listening and they say, hey, yeah, that's me you're talking about. Hey, yeah, that's the thing I'm trying to get rid of or trying to gain. And now is the time. I can't procrastinate this any longer. All of that is a skill set, Dr. Pete. In fact, perfect segue, because that is one of the gaps that we see with our patients, with our clients showing up who are interested in attracting more new patients. that's one of the 5 most common gaps. So today we're gonna have a conversation about these gaps, or the new patient gaps that we see that cause people to underperform. They're not realizing the growth that they want to see because they're frankly just their front door's closed. They don't have enough new patients coming in the front door because their marketing and their lead generation is off, right? So we're going to help people zoom in on like, okay, so what's the solution here, guys? Yes, I don't see as many new patients as I want to. Yes, I'm underperforming. Yes, I'm not reaching my goals. Yes, I understand the delta between me and the 7-figure or multiple 7-figure business making the massive impact. I understand that delta is very often represented by the delta in the number of new patients I'm seeing per month, right? So, okay, so help me overcome that. So we're going to help you guys overcome or bridge the gap or gaps in your ability to attract more new patients, right? They show up in 5 flavors, and there's not a binary situation here, Dr. Pete, where it's like, yes, that's my problem, or no, that's not my problem. I like to think of this as like a slider. Like right now, how much of a problem is this? Or how much of an impact is this making on my business? Or maybe a positive spin on this. How much opportunity is there in my business for me to improve here, right? So the 5 gaps, there's the money gap, there's the knowledge gap, there's the skills gap, there's the time gap, and there's the people gap. All 5 of those things. Some of you are like, check, 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 check. Yeah, I've got all 5 of those gaps, but I want to have a conversation around bridging these gaps. And if we were to bridge even one of them, you're going to see a 20% uptick in your number of new patients in your practice. 2 of them, you're at 40% uptick. 3 of them, 60%, 80%, 100% if you get all 5 of these right. Dr. Pete, I'm excited about this conversation because it leads immediately to increased impact and income for our doctors.
Yeah, Doc, and this is powerful because number one, identifying the gap is actually probably the most important thing. So I'm looking forward to just unpacking each one of these and spending just a little bit of time, because we've recognized in working with a lot of doctors that actually all 5 of them often apply, right? There's a money gap, there's a knowledge gap, there's a skills gap, there's a time gap, there's a people gap. Oftentimes they can all happen at the same time. But then there's also the ongoing, like as you grow, we talk about the rules of 1s and 3s. We talk about these breakpoints. You guys have heard us do episodes on this. You end up hitting gaps again. Like we're facing challenges that put you in a position where you're facing the gap. So even if you are seasoned and you've been listening to this podcast and you're at let's say the money gap maybe isn't the one that stood out to you. I'm telling you right now, it is a gap and there is a potential point of exposure here as you are growing to the next level. If you hit these rules, if you apply the rules of 1s and 3s and you understand what the breakpoints are in your business as you grow and you scale to the next level, the next iteration of your business, you realize these gaps kick in. There's a knowledge gap, between 1 million and 3 million. There's a knowledge gap between 3 million and 10 million. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, yeah, there's a skill gap that you're going to have between 300 a week and let's say 600 a week. There's a time gap between, seeing 20 new patients and being able to process 40 or 60 new patients, right? So the reality is there's all of these challenges each step of the way. So you've got to be able to identify with each level that you're going to have to answer the question. It's Dr. Steven, it's the same question we ask when we talk about retention. It's not, are your new patients are dropping out of care? It's where are they or when are they dropping into care? It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And so these gaps aren't a question of if, it's just where and when and how these gaps are happening. And so Dr. Steven, let's jump in.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dr. Pete. So I'm going to let's just talk about this first one right out of the gate, money gap, right? So regardless of where you are, yeah, so you have a money gap problem. So you might be like, Franson, that's not my problem. Trust me. I'm like, no, trust me. Give me 4 minutes. Ready? So the money gap problem, where on the slider are you on this continuum of how much it's impacting your business? How much is it creating a constraint in the growth of your business or the velocity at which your business is growing, right? So your money gap is a factor, right? So for those people who are like just fresh out of the gates or maybe just struggling or maybe underwater, be like, you know what my money gap is? I ain't got none. Right. Yeah. And that is the classic, right? The money gap is just like, I ain't got no money. So I'm not doing any marketing. So I ain't got no new patients. So I ain't got no new revenue. So I ain't got no money. So I'm not doing any marketing. So I don't have any new patients. It's an eddy, Dr. Pete, right? They get caught in this vicious cycle of like, I have no money. So I don't do any marketing or enough marketing. So I'm not generating new patients or enough new patients. So I'm not generating more money. Does that sound familiar, anybody? Keep your hands on the steering wheel if you're driving. Don't be raising both hands and kicking your feet right now. So it's like, we might be talking to you right now. I'd be like, yeah, Franson, that's me, right? I'm in that money gap, right? So for those people, they need to learn systems like our slingshot system. It's like, Dr. Pete, we all started with no money, so I don't think there's a lot of silver spoons on this call right now. It's like, we all showed up, and between time, energy, focus, and money, all we had was time, energy, and focus, right? So most of us are so far underwater as like, oh my gosh, I would love to go out and eat and meet more new patients, but I can't afford to go out and eat, right? So regardless of where you're eating, right? So walk around and make pretend you're shopping. Make pretend you're going to buy that expensive coffee, right? So just get yourself a tea and hang out in the corner and meet people, right? So the idea is you got to get out in the community. You got to be gripping and grinning, introducing yourself and telling everybody who you are, what you do, and why you do it, right? There costs nothing but intention. It's your time, energy, focus, and money. It's like, it doesn't cost anything to screen. It doesn't cost anything to speak. Listen, stop telling yourselves stories, guys. Stop telling yourselves stories, right? So it does not cost anything to market. You can market, right? So you can go door to door and knock on doors. Some of this sounds so old school and unattractive. All right, so how about this? You all have iPhones. Take them out of your pocket and shoot short-term content. Short-form content doesn't cost you anything. Post it in your stories. You guys have to learn how to use short form content to market yourself and market your business. It's free. Put out 3 reels a day. Tell your stories. Get in there and create compelling short form content. Watch what the community engages with. When people start engaging, your winners, that tells you to do 3 things. Make more short form content on that topic. Turn those winners into ads, and that's where you spend your limiting marketing budget on those ads that are already proven to be winners, and turn that short form content topic into long form content and push people to your long form content, because consumers are buyers. People that consume your long form content, Dr. Pete, they're bingers. Get them to binge your content. Bingers are buyers, right? So you want to drive that. And how much money have we spent so far? So little money. That's if you have no money. So that's on one end of the money gap problem. Let me talk to the big dogs, right? So the big dogs are out there and be like, listen, that's not my problem. It is your problem because I coach you guys. And here's the truth is you guys are all underspending on your marketing. You're underspending on your marketing, usually grossly, right? So you should be spending 8 to 12 times your top line revenue goal, where you're trying to go 8 to 12 times your top line revenue, 8 to 12% of your top line revenue goal. That's your marketing budget to be investing in growing the business. What's 12% of your top line revenue goal? Is that your marketing budget? It should be. And that's a minimum, frankly, guys, because the best marketers in the world really don't have a budget because they get such a strong ROI. They don't have a budgeting issue. They have a delivery issue. Right. So every business has got a supply or demand problem. The best practices in the world struggle with a supply problem. They can't even keep up with the demand. So you don't really have a marketing issue. You have a delivery issue, but that's a story for another day. Right. So I want to see intelligent business intelligence, intelligent marketing. In other words, you need to know things. What's my CPL? What's my cost per lead? What's my CPA? What's my cost per acquisition, or CAC, my cost to acquire a customer? I want to know what my LTV is, my lifetime value, so I can determine what is my CAC to LTV ratio, or what is the cost to acquire a customer to my lifetime value of a customer ratio. And I want to know, where does that land? Because now I have a gauge on my ROI. So now I can intelligently invest in marketing my business. Guys, listen to me. You guys are underspending. So if you knew that you were getting a 10 to 1, 12 to 1 LTV CAC ratio, you'd be shoveling money into your marketing. So some of you are like, holy crap, I don't know any of those numbers. So I'm not boldly and aggressively investing in my purpose and my mission. This should be a data-driven mission. And Dr. Pete, we want bold chiropractors who are using business intelligence to drive the growth of their business. They have a money gap.
So I'm just going to call timeout on Dr. Stephen. Timeout. Because everybody's trying
All
to
right, man. You got my attention.
You're trying to drive at the same time. You can't drive and take notes. You know, you can't be driving. All right. So let me just say this. It's October 10 and 11 if you're in the U.S. and you're hearing this in Phoenix. So figure it out and get there. We're going to be spending 2 days fixing the marketing issues that you have, whether you're a top dog, as Dr. Stephen referenced, and you need you want to be intelligent about this because you're not just going to throw money at marketing just because he says it's 8 to 12% of your top line revenue goal. You want to be smart about this. Exactly. If you find yourself more on the bottom where you're like, man, I'm the first guy you described, I wanted to take my car and just park it and just not keep driving anymore after you said that because you described me because I don't have the money. So I'm in marketing and I don't have the new ones. So I don't have the money. And I felt like you just called me out. It's Phoenix. Spend the money to get there. Dr. Stephen, I know for me and you too, like when we early days, speaking to the struggling doc, if you're listening to this, we invested in I invested in money that I didn't have to be able to get to the success that I enjoy. It was part of it. It's the investment. And so if this is the investment for you, get out to Phoenix, get out there. If you're in the US, if you're in Australia, then get to the event in Adelaide. Dr. Stephen, you shared the dates at the beginning of the show. I don't have them pulled up right here, but get to the event in Adelaide. If you're in New Zealand, get out to the New Zealand event. We have 3 events coming up in the next few months, and they're for you. And we want you to get there. We want to help you with this. This is our goal. Dr. Stephen, you're just scratching the itch. The reality is that as long as you're in business, you got to solve this issue. You've got to continue to get better. We should be able to serve more new patients. You should be asking yourself, what would break if I doubled the number of new patients in my business?
That's right.
Really good question to ask. Remember this year, Dr. Stephen, at the beginning of the year, we asked this critical question: what would break this year if your business doubled? We're going to keep that going. We're still in 2025. And we also said, how can you turn your pirate ship into a battleship? We asked that question as we started this year. And you cannot take a cannon and attach it and fire it from a rowboat. You cannot do that. What Dr. Stephen, you're talking about the slingshot system. You've dropped a few nuggets here. And I think a lot of people are like, I'm not sure what that was. You got to get to the events. You got to come out. You got to get plugged into the community, get plugged into the group. We can't teach all those things just on a podcast. This is a podcast. We're here to have a conversation, Dr. Stephen, you and I, and we love inviting all of you into it. We want to equip you and empower you with more and more tools and resources, and we're here to do that. So if this is an issue and a challenge for you, hey, we want to help you out. Reach out, message us, pop in, show up to one of our events. Hey, Dr. Stephen, I think we should give a ticket away for our.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that idea.
I love to give one of mine. I get a pocket full of tickets I get to give away. My goal is to give some tickets away today on this podcast. So, hey, if you are listening to this and you want to get to one of our events that's coming up, you can go to theremarkablepractice.com and you can go to our events and you can see which event, depending on where you're at in the world. If you're in the US or you're in Australia or New Zealand, we got events coming up and you want to get there. I'd love to give you a ticket. You got to message us, send us a message, say, hey, I want to get a ticket from Dr. Pete for the event, or Dr. Stephen. I'm giving some of mine away because I got them in my back pocket. So
hey, let's do this, Dr. Pete.
To be there. Yeah.
We can set it up where we'll give one away on YouTube and we'll give one away on Instagram. So you got to write Remarkable CEO Podcast. So Remarkable CEO Podcast, and just message us for the attraction immersion. Let us know which one you're looking for, whether it's Phoenix or it's Adelaide in Australia or in New Zealand. Just write Remarkable CEO Podcast and we'll get you guys hooked up with the golden ticket. So we'll do one on Instagram on the Remarkable Practice page, or we'll do one on YouTube, and we'll do one on YouTube on the follow us on YouTube. So that's a great way to introduce people to the concept of watching this podcast. All right. So Dr. Pete, I got a little carried away in that first one. I promise I won't do that. I'm just stoked as I'm writing this content for the Remarkable Attraction immersion itself. So I'm fired up to share this information. We're talking about the 5 gaps. I'm going to rip through the other 4 just briefly, high level as a teaser. So the number 1 was a money gap. Like the second one is the knowledge gap, right? So the knowledge gap is really a strategic issue, right? So you don't know what to do, right? If you have a knowledge gap when it comes to marketing, right? Like I have no idea, or I have too many ideas. Those are 2 ends of the continuum. I have no idea what to do, or I have too many ideas, right? And I don't know which ones to lean in on. I don't have starvation. I have indigestion in my marketing, right? Or I'm caught up in analysis paralysis, especially now with like AI, like trying to figure out exactly what should I be doing and how should I be leveraging AI, right? So that's a knowledge gap. Well, we have plenty of AI content coming down at the immersion. We're bringing in, Brad is coming back, Costanzo is coming back and saying, here's the most effective, God bless you, marketing, AI application and marketing for chiropractors, what's working right now. So he's going to be at the event as well. And the fact of the matter is everything keeps changing. My goodness, guys, it's this is a moving target and it's moving very, very quickly. Professional marketers who live in this space 75 hours a week can't keep up, right? So you might feel like, man, I have this knowledge gap, right? So I don't know what to do. Or maybe it's a skills gap. Number 3, a skills gap is I don't know how to do something. So this is not a strategic question. This is a tactical question, right? So I have a knowledge gap and I have a skills gap. Number 3, I don't know what to do, or I don't know how to do it. And you can't keep up because everything keeps changing, right? The skills keep moving out ahead of you. Maybe you're saying, you know what, this is not my sole purpose, right? So this is not my zone of genius. This is not my lane, right? And the skill is creating a lot of stress for me, and I don't actually have the team to leverage, right? So there's no one else on my team I can turn to and look to, or I just don't even have the time to do this, right? The time to learn it, learn the skills, right? So of course that brings us to the fourth one, which is the time gap. And most people are just like, man, I just don't have the time to gain the knowledge or build the skills, right? So at the end of the day, guys, the solution here is, you're trying to do this on brute force. And if you learn anything from us, you cannot run and grow this business on brute force. The next iteration of your business is going to call for you to grow up and become the leader who recognizes, I'm going to run and grow this business on leverage. And this is the perfect example of I need to leverage other experts and leverage fractional experts that can help me do this, who do have the skills, who do have the knowledge. And by the way, they do have the time. This is what they do full time. You should be focusing on working on chiropractic and being the CEO of the business, right? So running the machine, right? Your job is to build the machine, not be the machine, right? That's the first ascension. So time gap. And number 5, finally, is the people gap, right? So this is a who, not a how question, right? I just don't have the people on my team. Is internal, external, and digital marketing. And I'll make the argument, those are 3 different geniuses, Dr. Pete. There's going to be somebody who's going to be a genius internally in your office of generating referrals, organic, process-driven, and really campaign-driven referrals. That's one type of person. That's a genius. External marketing, that's that person that just gets out into the community, creates new relationships for you to leverage, to generate more new patient generating opportunities, right? So that's its own genius. And then finally, there's the probably cadre, a team of people that have different digital geniuses, whether it's your website, it's your SEO, it's your email marketing, it's your social media, it's your ads, et cetera, right? So it can be overwhelming unless you just take a beat and say, I need a point of contact in my person who helps manage these fractional digital marketing experts. Dr. Pete, the people gap. All right, so that's it, the 5 gaps. Each one of these gaps is playing a factor. Each one of these gaps is a constraint in your business being optimized. The question is how much are these gaps affecting your business? How big of a constraint is it in your business? We have to learn how to bridge the gap. Is it for you? Is it the money gap? Is it the knowledge gap? Is it the skills gap? Is it the time gap? Or is it the people gap? Join us at the Remarkable Attraction Immersion, and let's bridge these gaps and increase our impact and our income. Hey, Remarkables, let me ask you, can you imagine generating more than 600 qualified new patient leads per month? How about seeing 183 new patients in 1 month? Imagine your practice generating more than $100,000 a week in collections, on track to doing over $5 million this year. Sound impossible? Well, those are the real results that TRP's own Dr. Bobby Ilyajozovic is enjoying as we speak. Those are his July numbers, and August is going to be even better. Coach Bobby has been a new patient generation machine for nearly 10 years. I know because I've been coaching him since day one, but now he is going totally bionic. He has cracked the code on new patient generation, and he is ready to share it all with you guys. Do you want to get in on this? Join us for the annual Remarkable Attraction Marketing Immersion, October 10th and 11th in Phoenix, Arizona, and October 24th and 25th in Adelaide, Australia. Coach Bobby will be walking you and your team through every step of his Remarkable Lead Machine system. Click the link in the show notes below and register your team now. But Dr. Bobby's sessions are only one of the reasons that you and your team need to be at the Remarkable Attraction Immersion. Let me ask you, have you started using AI to drive new patients into your practice yet? There's a new era in marketing that's powered by AI, and it's creating a surge of new patients for docs that know how to leverage it. Don't miss this wave. Our team of experts will show you exactly how the most successful marketers are using AI to generate record numbers of new patient leads in internal marketing, external marketing, and of course, digital marketing. Have you developed a fully leveraged marketing machine where you'll have total confidence that you'll predictably smash your goals month after month after month? Stop leaving tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table due to lackluster internal new patient referrals. Stop wasting time and spinning your wheels trying to figure out how to get butts in seats for your outside speaking events. Stop throwing good money after bad on digital marketing that's just not working. Doc, you should be seeing a 5 times to 10 times ROI on your marketing dollars. Our clients are crushing this. This weekend seminar will feature a 3-track format focusing on optimizing your internal, external, and digital lead generation. 9 breakout sessions in total, with a special emphasis on best practices leveraging AI for all of them. Bring your team. Everyone in your practice is a marketer. Let us inspire and equip them to help you fill your schedule book with more qualified new patients. Join us for the annual Remarkable Attraction Marketing Immersion, October 10th and 11th in Phoenix, Arizona, and October 24th and 25th in Adelaide, Australia. Click the link in the show notes here or go to the remarkablepractice.com events page and register your team today.
Please stick around for more business insights from this week's bonus interview with our remarkable success partner dedicated to helping you more successfully help more people. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, this is Coach Day with the Remarkable Practice, and I have with me today Dr. Josiah Fitzsimmons. It is quite an honor to be able to interview him over the next few minutes. He has a fantastic service that I am a direct recipient of, and I'm sure that you would, much rather hear it from him as far as the benefits of it rather than, me sitting here raving about it. So I want to go ahead and introduce Dr. Josiah Fitzsimmons, fantastic chiropractor, fantastic person and business person, and give him an opportunity to speak about Lucro and what kind of services he provides. So Dr. Josiah, tell us just a few moments about yourself, as well as what problem does Lucro really stand to solve for the busy chiropractor?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Dr. Kevin. Lucro provides bookkeeping services for the chiropractic profession to help chiropractors scale their clinics and be more profitable. That's literally what Lucro stands for in Italian, is profit. And it was born out of my own clinic. I grew my own clinic very quickly right out of school, over $1 million my first year in practice, $2 million my second year. By my fourth year, I was at $5.5 million in 1,800 square feet. And so doctors started asking, what are you doing? Can you help me? Can you be my coach? Can you do all these different things? And they're like, what is really separating you? What are you doing differently than most other offices to grow and scale at such a fast pace? And really what I realized is I had borrowed from other professions outside of chiropractic, most for myself, my first couple of years. And most chiropractors really only utilize bookkeeping for 1 day a year to file taxes. But during COVID, I started studying these other businesses. What are they doing to grow and scale? And especially these tech businesses that they seemingly can just burst through glass ceilings and never hit plateaus or bottlenecks. And one of the most fundamental things that I understood about these businesses was they were constantly evaluating their financial data to make strategic key business decisions. And, my bookkeeping was typically months behind. Even if I got it on time, I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know what the right margins were, what the right percentages were, what I actually should do with the data. And so that's when I started transitioning and trying to figure it out for my own clinic. And so now that's what we do for doctors, is you have a dedicated team member that does your books every single week. And then we give you a report by the 10th of every month that gives you insights into all your numbers, as well as recommended action steps of how to grow, how to scale, get to the next level. And I lead twice a month group calls where you can ask unlimited questions as well.
And I think that's fantastic. I was literally just looking at my dashboard right before we hopped on this call, and it was like, hey, it's in the green, it's profitable. That's fantastic. And so some of the ways that I use it, and, I was trying to think of, this podcast reaches everyone from those that are just about to get started in their practice, to those that are building their practice, to those that are leveraging, their team and other associate chiropractors to scale their practice. And, I look at Lucro as a way to provide a product and a benefit to everyone across the board. For those that may not have great fluency with their funds, that advice and those tips and those strategies on where to spend and what not to spend, that's fantastic. And for, the busy chiropractor, the busy CEO that just wants to pop in and say like, okay, are we above? Are we below? Are we right on track with where we need to be? And I think that's a really important thing when we talk about our finances as well. When we talk about marketing budget, we should be remarkable standards right around that 10%. And if you're above that, you need to know that, but also you need to know if you're below that. And it's not necessarily a good thing when you're beneath that. It just means you need to increase your spending to add more value to your business. So that quick visibility, just pop in and it's like, okay, yeah, I can actually increase my spending within marketing to get right back on budget. That's huge value. So that's terrific. And, as you had mentioned, you continue to grow through COVID, and, having your numbers like that is a really important thing. So
You hit the nail on the head. Is you might be doing good in these areas. A lot of people focus on maybe what they're not doing good at and they want to improve. But what I found and what we've really found with Lucro is most of our clients need to focus more on the opportunities that they have to grow. And instead of focusing, on shaving a few here or doing a few things, stop doing a few things. There's a lot of things that you're probably really doing a great job at. They just need to do more of, and uncovering those opportunities and pouring more gas on those fires is really what we found for most clinics to really scale their clinics at a much faster pace.
give us an example of what those master classes that you talk about would be covering for, for those people that are listening that have no idea what you're talking about when you say a master class. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely. We cover really everything, in my own clinic, how I grew my clinic to now just under $7 million in last year. We cover all different things. We have guests on, such as Dr. Franson and Dr. Pete from the Remarkable Practice. We have guests from other marketing companies, Alan Miner from Chiro Matchmakers. We have guests from all different people across the entire profession. We have also diving in. My partner was a CFO for Jasper AI, which is now $1 billion company. We break down marketing, we break down operations, we break down financial decisions, we break down how to eliminate your tax bill, we break down profitability, social media strategies, all different areas that all flow back into how to have a successful practice. And so all those different things show up on your P&L in different ways. And so how do you understand the data that your P&L is giving you, then to look deeper into improving your team or improving your retention or improving your conversion, or depending on what phase you're in, like you said, whether you're just right out of school launching, this is hugely important for you to know exactly how to make the best decision. The biggest thing I talk about people right out of school or early in practice is opportunity costs. You might focus on what you think is the most important topic, but there could be something that could be 10 times more valuable that you didn't even know you should focus on. When you're into build and scale mode, then it's very, very important for you to be able to focus on, the key aspect that's going to have the number one driver on scaling your clinic and utilizing data to help you understand what that decision is. And so, yeah, in the master classes, we dive into all those different topics, on a more detailed basis. And it's a great collaboration with all of our members, going into Q&A, and we have lots of great questions, that people bring up, that they're struggling with or they're pushing through and trying to break through those plateaus or bottlenecks.
That's fantastic. And that is at no additional charge. Is that correct with the master
Correct.
plan?
Yeah.
That's included. So, that just shows where Dr. Josiah's intentions are and his heart is to help serve the profession. And that's true. And, our metrics are so vital when we're a CEO. I'll openly admit when I first started in practice, I was a head down, bum up guy. And it's like, I don't need my numbers. I'm going to show up and adjust. That's what I'm here to do. But I tell you what, if you truly want to have a better grasp on your practice, on your business, and if you truly want to be able to scale your practice, you have to be able to understand and comprehend your numbers. So with that being stated, let's get real on this. Like, what is a good return on investment that CEOs can expect when they use Lucro?
Yeah, absolutely. When you put your money in the stock market, you set it, forget about it. You're usually happy with 10%, return. You put $1,000 in, it turns into, $1,100 at the end of a year. You're pretty happy. And so one of the biggest things I talk with doctors about all the time is that if you put $1,000 into marketing and you only made $1,100, you wouldn't be happy at all. And that's because your business has much greater opportunity to get way higher ROI on investing back into your business. And so whether it be hiring a team member and hiring their Remarkable Practice, hiring Lucro, you're going to want much, much higher ROI for your investment than just putting in the stock market and forgetting about it. I would say the absolute worst case scenario of investing your money into Lucro is a 10x return. 10 times the amount would be the worst case scenario. Most of our doctors are getting 20, 30, 40, some of them 100x ROI in investing in Lucro. We're only $450 a month. We do your bookkeeping every single week. We give you a report by the 10th of every month. We have twice a month master classes and group calls, asking them many questions. We tee everything up for your CPA to file your taxes. And so we're typically around the same cost people are already paying, to get value once a year. Maybe their book's updated every few months, but no tangible insights to actually grow their practice, just bean counting, as I like to call it. And so we actually give you insights, to grow, to scale, to get to the next level. And that's where the real value is, to have somebody on your team that's obviously built a clinic to a high level, as well as a CFO like Adam, who's helped consulted from, major organizations, and to have both of us, on your team to help you grow and scale to the next level. We've never had a single client that has said they haven't made, way more than we cost. And that's how we tried to price it, as a no-brainer, for the chiropractic profession.
Yep, that's absolutely right. And that was one of the greatest things that attracted me to you guys as well, is the difference between my original bookkeeper and Lucro. Is my bookkeeper, that's all they do, right? That's their background, is business and accounting, whereas your background is the profession that I'm in. And that is a huge, huge asset for especially someone just starting off in practice. What I think about is, like, okay, your dollars matter now more than ever in your practice, because you have to make it, right? So why not invest in someone who knows where you're headed, who knows what's around that corner, and can help you avoid a lot of those pitfalls and maximize every dollar that you have. So, I think that's one of the greatest assets that you have with Lucro across the board for, again, those folks that are just coming out of school and wanting to get it optimized. Because at the end of the day, you're going to pay a bookkeeper one way or the other. You might as well leverage someone who knows our business frontwards and backwards and has had great success with it. So for me personally, it was a no-brainer. And I hope everyone listening can kind of see the value like that as well.
And I would even say, Dr. Kevin, if you're not paying a bookkeeper, that means you're doing it yourself. And that's even worse. Yeah, at the end of the day, you're a doctor, you're not an accountant, and neither is your spouse or your daughter or your niece, most likely that's doing your book. So that's a big thing that we talk about on a regular basis, is having the right people on your team. To me, that's the biggest bottleneck in our profession, is having the right people in your organization to help you grow and scale and get to the next level. And so, yeah, definitely, if that's you and you're like, well, I'm doing it myself, I don't pay anything. Well, you're paying way, way more with your own time and the value that
Right.
you're missing out on of how much more successful you could be by the numbers and data and insights you don't know.
That's right. And I'm sure if we had more time, you could tell us some pretty amazing stories about those that were doing their bookkeeping by themselves, and probably how you save them not only time but also a lot of money and potentially some other greater issues. All right, so here's another question for you, and I think this is a big one. The healthcare is ever changing, and considering what's important next, like as you start to look ahead and assess the needs for our profession in the years ahead, how are you going to be able to help doctors be prepared to have the same success in the future as it continues to evolve?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this question because it's so paramount. What worked in the past, what's worked currently may not work in 2 years and 3 years and in 5 years. And so really understanding, as we grow as a profession, that's one of our key parts of our entire program that we're developing, is what we're going to call the chiropractic industry insights. And so the more clinics that we have, the more and more data that we're going to have of what's working in the profession. Who are the top vendors to use? What are the top programs to use? Top EHRs, the top marketing companies, all the top organizations in the profession. We're going to have the data of the entire profession, because we know the expenses of every single clinic that we work with. And so we got to know, people that utilize this company make 17% more profit. People that utilize this company, don't do as well. People that once they start utilizing this organization, their, clinic takes off. And so we're going to know overall, and that's something that we want to start delivering for the profession, is what we call like a white paper report. What's working, what's not working, how do you run the most successful chiropractic business possible? And we can even tag those down based on style of practice or location of practice. Are you more pediatrics focused or family focused or personal injury? Are you in the Midwest, or are you in a big city or a small town? And so we're going to be able to have all that data of how the best practices are being ran, what we call it in Lucro is the perfect P&L. What does the perfect P&L look like for every different size and style of practice? How do you optimize for total profitability of a clinic? Because at the end of the day, you'd much rather have 20% of a watermelon than 50% of a grape. A lot of clinics focus too much on profit margin when the goal of a clinic is total profitability. That's what a business is created to do, is to create enterprise value and total profitability. And so that's our entire goal, is to help provide those insights, not only for every individual client, but also for the profession as well. Because I always joke with people, it's Jesus and chiropractors. We're the top people that are called miracle workers in the history of the world, I truly believe. And why don't we have a bigger impact on the world? We know we have the greatest healthcare product in the world. Why are we reaching a greater percentage and having a bigger impact on the population? Fundamentally, we went to school to become doctors, not to become entrepreneurs and get our MBAs. And so how, as Lucro with the Remarkable Practice and other organizations in the profession, help uplift, the awareness of how to run a more successful business.
That is so true, and well said on that, truthfully. I think, again, going back to the reality that, as we navigate the waters ahead, like, who better to help you with your finances than a chiropractor, understanding and comprehending our profession. So fantastic. I really enjoyed that. And I know I've been a customer or client of your guys's now for, probably 8 months, and I learned something today. So thank you for that. My final question for you, Dr. Josiah, is what's the best way for our listeners to learn more and get in contact with you and take that next step for their business?
Absolutely. I would say go to our website, morelucro.com. We have tons of amazing resources. You mentioned the master classes. We call it the Lucro Vault. Right now we have an open source most of our content to anybody, and you can download handouts, you can download manuals, you can download calculators to calculate lifetime value, all different things that we have for free resources on our website that I utilize myself to grow my clinic to just under $7 million. So I would say, first and foremost, take advantage of what we offer for free. If you want to engage and get to the next level, schedule a strategy call with us. We have a demo on our website of our software, how it works. And so I would say take the next step, schedule a call with us, see how we can help scale your clinic to the next level when you're ready. But at the end of the day, we're here to help doctors be more successful, have a greater impact, and we'd love to help do that for any of the listeners.
Fantastic. Highly recommend that, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Josiah, and have yourself a great rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, direct message us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors.